Hello students, all is well. Welcome back to the second part of the chapter number 5th, Women Change the World, part 2nd. Also in this session we will discuss about that which factors are responsible for the gender inequality, why did the woman face the situation called inequality, and how did the women overcome with these situations, and few examples set up in the society which makes proud to every woman. Let's start. Factors responsible for gender inequality. This is our first topic. In this topic we will discuss about that which factors are responsible for gender inequality. Students, these are the various factors which is responsible for the gender inequality. First is illiteracy, second is child marriage, third one is stereotype thinking in society, and male inheritance. Let us discuss one by one. Illiteracy. Students, literacy is a right of every individual. Now government promotes the education, free educations to encourage educations for men and women. Illiteracy is the most important factor responsible for gender inequality. If we see the previous situation, that illiteracy is the most common factor which is responsible for gender inequality, because people are not well educated, they don't understand the situation, they don't understand the demands of today. That's why that is the basic reason and foremost reason of gender inequality. In the earlier times only man has allowed to go school and man has only allowed to take educations. Women educations are not on the priority basis. That's why illiteracy is the most important factors responsible for gender inequality. Girls are still considered to be a liability for parents. Illiteracy is responsible for many stereotypes prevalent in our society according to the 2001 census. According to the study of 2001 census, the literacy level of women in India 65.38%, in which women 76.85%. These are the illiteracy level of the women according to the 2001, but after that situation was changed, and now the continuously changes in the education pattern or the government policies, women has a right to get the education. So illiteracy is the foremost reasons of the gender inequality. Second reason is child marriage. Second is the basic reason. Child marriage is a very important and common issue in the previous time. Child marriage is one of the main reason of the gender inequality. In a very early stage child get married means he don't know about himself, he is not grew, he is not mature, and he get married. So child marriage is the second important cause of the gender inequality. Child marriage and the dowry system also result in gender inequality. When a girl is married at early age, she is ignorant and uneducated. If the girl is ignorant and uneducated, how can she pursue her family? So that is the two basic reasons, that child marriage and illiteracy are the two foremost reason of the gender inequality. Third, male inheritance. Students, before 2005, I am talking about before 2005, women in our society had no right to inherit property. But after 2005, woman has a right to get the properties or to get the shares in the father's property. So this is the also reason that male get so much importance in the society and female not get importance in the society. And the three basic reasons of gender inequality: first is male inheritance, second is child marriage, first one is that illiteracy. Child marriage and dowry system are the two foremost reason of the gender inequality, because in a very early stage girls get married, she is very innocent, she doesn't know about anything, and she just because of lack of knowledge and uneducated, she is not moving further. Now let's see the next topic. Here is the next topic, that we can say that women who change the world. During this era, some are the examples in our society which makes proud to every woman, and these are these women. The first picture is the picture of Pandita Ramabai, and second picture is the picture of Begum Ruqayya Sakawat Hussain. They are not the faces of today, but these are the faces who makes proud to every woman, who changes in the society, who brought changes in the society, who changed the society thinking. Let us discuss about the changes. Pandita Ramabai. According to the study, Pandita Ramabai, she never went to school. Students, listen here carefully. She never went to school but learned to read and write from her parents. Imagine during that time there was no compulsion for a girls to go outside and get educations. In that conditions, she learned and read and write from her parents. She was given the title Pandita. Why she given the title Pandita? Because she could read and write Sanskrit. She could read and write Sanskrit very well, a remarkable achievement as women then were not allowed such knowledge. She went on to set up a missionary school in Khedgaon, which is also present nowadays, where widows and poor women were encouraged become literate due to but to be independent. So this is the story of Pandita Ramabai. She was the woman who makes proud to every woman. She never went to school. Instead of not going to school, she learned to read and write from her parents, and she attained the title called Pandita because she was profound to know read and write Sanskrit. A remarkable achievement as a woman then were not allowed such knowledge. Also, she set up a mission in Khedgaon, nearby Pune, where widows and poor women were encouraged to become literate but to be independent. So this is a remarkable work done by Pandita Ramabai. Now let's see the second and the most prominent woman of that time who changed the thinking of the society was Begum Ruqayya Sakhawat Hussain. Let us discuss more about the Begum Ruqayya Sakhawat Hussain. Ruqayya Sakhawat Hussain was born into a rich family and owned a lot of land. Means there is a no economical issue. Instead of no economical issue, she is facing the problem. Though she knew how to read and write Urdu, she was stopped learning because she was girl. But she was stopped learning Bangla and English was seen as a language that would expose girl. Means that time the such kind of orthodox mentality kept by the people that of getting the knowledge of Bangla and English was more exposed the girl. So to keep this idea in their mind, the peoples were not allowed to get the English educations for girls. But Ruqayya learnt English language with the help of her elder brother. Ruqayya didn't stop and she learned English language with the help of her elder brother, and she went to become a writer. She went to become a great writer, and she wrote a book called Sultana Dreams, which is written there clearly. She wrote a very famous book called Sultana Dreams. She went to become a writer. She faced lots of struggle because that time of getting the English knowledge for a girls is not good suggested by their parents. In that condition, she learnt and become a writer, and she wrote a very famous book called Sultana Dreams. So these were the two women who set up a great example in front of us that how women change the society thinking, their mind, their mentality. So these are the two women who makes us proud that we are women and we can do anything, we can change the world. Now let us discuss some various steps taken by the governments to promote women or to share the equal rights for a woman. First, equal rights means earlier times only man has allowed to give the vote, but after long struggles women get an importance and women get the chance to give the vote. Universal adult suffrage that we had discussed in the first chapter. Second, governments also encourage the free and compulsory educations for all the children. This is the best way that government encourage the women educations, and this is the best way to provide equality among men and women. Third, government banned the dowry. Governments made a law against the dowry systems, and this proven them that girls are interested to give equal importance to girls and boys, men and women. And fourth one last, the important steps taken by the government is that the National Commission for the Women set up by the governments to encourage women educations, women better job opportunities. So in this way, through the given equal rights at the time of voting, or by providing free and compulsory educations up to the children of 14 years, or ban the dowry system, the National Commission set up. These are the few steps taken by the governments who encourage or promote the equality among man and woman. So this is the end of this chapter. I hope all of you understand this, the concept of this chapter and the moral of this chapters. Give respect and take respect. Not only give respect and take respect, respect every woman, because this is the age of women. Thank you and have a nice day.